All right. We are diving into parenting. So, parenting is my passion. And I'm going to get into the 5 things that emotionally intelligent parents say to their children. And then I'm going to kind of go into like a rant. But I want to tell you the 5 things up front so you don't have to listen to this whole audio to figure out what the 5 things are. And then I'm going to talk about emotional intelligence, why we need to learn this as parents, and why it is so critically important for you to understand the skill of regulating your own emotions and also how to communicate that with those you love. So, the 5 things emotionally intelligent parents say is tell me more. I'm here for you no matter what. Tell me how you're feeling. I'm ready to listen. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn and grow. I believe in you and your abilities. And number 5, let's find a solution together. Your feelings matter. These 5 things that emotionally intelligent parents say, there's a million things that parents can say to their children. These are just 5. But I want you to hear, kind of like back up a little bit. This doesn't matter if obviously this is going to be more important with older children. But tell me more. I'm here for you no matter what. I'm here for you no matter what, right? So if you say, I'm here for you no matter what, and you actually mean it, right? So we can't just say these things and then parent differently. Like our behaviors and our actions have to align with our words, and we have to be impeccable with our word. And if we're not impeccable with our word, then our children are not going to trust us. And if our kids don't trust us, then we don't really have a really good relationship. So back in the day when I started my business, I was solely focused on the parent-child relationship because conscious parenting and parenting in general was something that I was working through and incredibly passionate about. And I remember so often that parents would come to me and they would say, Heather, tell me what to do. How do I get rid of this behavior in my child? Or how do I get my children to listen to me? Or how do I motivate my child? And you have to listen to that language and that behavior, because what's actually happening is what you're saying is, how do I control another person's behavior? How do I get rid of another person's behavior? How do I change that other human to make myself more comfortable? So when you can identify that and get to that point where you are, you can see that within yourself of like, oh my goodness, I am trying to emotionally manipulate my children to change their behavior to please me and my emotional discomfort or my anxiety or my, inability to self-regulate my emotions. So that's one thing. Okay. The aha moment of like, holy shit, I am trying to control my children because I'm uncomfortable. So when we are at that point and we are trying to manipulate somebody to change their behavior to please us, we just have to be aware of this. Okay. So the number 1 rule is we actually have no control over another human being, not even our children. Wow. Mind blowing. We have no control. Like I have no control over my 3 boys. The only person I have control over is myself. Now, I could definitely have rules and boundaries and standards and expectations, but I don't need to change my child's behavior. This goes back to trust and relationship, and that's a journey. Trust is a journey. Building a relationship built on trust and connection and respect, that is a journey. And that is where personal growth happens. And so if we're not willing to look within ourselves and we just want to chronically change somebody else and be like, if I can't change them, there's no other work that I want to do, then this conversation is not for you. And you will never have a connected relationship with your child. And you will always have this sense of mistrust or like, yeah, you have no core basis for connection in that relationship at all if you're not willing to look in the mirror at all. Now, your kids are going to go along this journey and things are going to happen. They are going to make mistakes. They are going to do things in school that are not appropriate. They are going to fail at things. They are going to have feelings. They are going to struggle. They are going to not know how to solve problems. Your children are going to be human. Okay? So put yourself in their shoes. Maybe not their exact shoes, but put yourself in a similar situation of like, okay, my child is unmotivated, they're failing in school, and they're incredibly disrespectful to authority. Anytime I try to talk to them, they just shut down. Cool. Could your child be, because now we're going to look at the child's behavior and the behavior is speaking to us, okay? Could your child be stressed out? Could your child be struggling an inner battle that you have no idea about because you have never been in their shoes? Could your child be having some social friendship challenges, relationship challenges? Could they be going through puberty and they're really uncomfortable in their skin? Does your child have a hard time focusing at school? Is your child getting sick and they just have a headache? Does your child not like the food that you are feeding them? So when we can kind of like step back and pay attention, like how heated am I? How frustrated am I? And be less reactive, because when we're reactive, we're in our red zone and then we say things that we regret and then we feel guilty. Now, this is where I say confidence comes in, because so often parents are like, I don't feel confident in knowing how to communicate these emotionally uncomfortable conversations because I'm showing up and I don't know what to say. And then I just go to my default mode, which is the way I was parented. And I end up yelling at my kids or I end up punishing them and taking things away. You can always come back and repair. You can always show your kids that you're human too. And you can say, wow, I really, really messed up yesterday. And I noticed that I'm really angry and I got to figure out why I'm angry. And I'm not really angry at you. I was angry at the situation, but like, I need to say sorry for that. I need to apologize for my behavior. Your children do not need to apologize for their reaction. They can do it by themselves, but you need to own your behavior first. So number one, when we say I'm here for you no matter what, as a parent, you need to mean it. What does that mean? How do you hold that energy for your child when you're like, I'm going to sit next to you in this shit. I'm here no matter what. I'm here when you're sad. I'm here when you're happy. I'm here when you want to push me away. I'm not giving up on you. There's been many times, especially as my kids have gotten older and they become teenagers, when they want to push me away. And I know they just want to do that because they want to isolate. And I have said, I am not giving up on you. You cannot push me away. And they have come back after and said, that meant the world to me. Number two, tell me how you're feeling. I'm ready to listen. This one's actually a really difficult one for parents, because when your children tell you how they're feeling, I am ready to listen. Active listening is a skill. And I say to people all the time, like, this is a life skill. This is a relationship skill. Most people are not they're not listening to listen and connect with you. They're listening to reply, right? And so actively listening is like, I am here. Let it all out. And I'm going to try to like become the detective, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Tell me more. Tell me more. Okay, what happened then? And then what happened? Tell me how you're feeling. I'm ready to listen. Are you creating the space to say, I'm here, let's talk? Are you getting in the car, going for a car ride, going for a walk together? Number 3, it's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn and grow. I think a lot of times parents are living vicariously through their children and trying to relive what they didn't accomplish as children, or trying to like gain their value from the child's accomplishments. And so it's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn and grow. I think that's super healthy to say that to your kids. But you have to mean it, right? When children make mistakes, are you shaming them for their mistakes? And sometimes we do. And again, it comes back to repair. Be like, I have no idea why I reacted like that, but I do want you to know it's okay to make mistakes. And then maybe tell them like how you make mistakes, because I guarantee you make a lot of them. And you probably made a mistake on how you communicated to them. And you can let them know, look, I just made a mistake too. And I'm learning and I'm growing. So we can be two imperfect people together. Number 4, I believe in you and your abilities. This is a big one. So inside my community, I talk a lot about the coach and the rescuer. So I find a lot of times as parents, especially women, we want to rescue our children's behavior. We want to rescue their emotions. And so we want to do the work for them and we take it away from them, right? Like, let me tie your shoes. Let me make that for you. Let me do that. And because we're in such a rush, and it's not that we don't believe in our kids, it's that we're like completely bypassing that. And we're like, okay, it's got to be my way. I got to do it, because we're avoiding our own emotions. We don't want to sit with our emotional discomfort. So we're trying to do for them. So when you can sit and say to a child, I believe in you and your ability, you are breathing confidence into that child, So that's a big one. I believe in you and your abilities. Also, when you see a child struggle, when they're crying and they're like maybe doing a math test or they're studying for something and they're like, I can't do this. You could sit down and help them, but you're like, you know what? I believe in you. There's a lot of self-doubt that happens in our lives. And to be honest, some of the biggest growth that I've had as an adult is when I have another adult say, I 100% believe in your ability to do this. And having somebody hold that belief for you is priceless. Number 5, let's find a solution together. Your feelings matter. All right. How many of you have grown up feeling like your feelings actually mattered? Like you had a caregiver that was like, all parts of you are welcome here. Your bigness, your smallness, your insecurities, all of it is welcome here. I think not a lot of us have, and that's okay. But even just sitting and not knowing how, you don't need to know how to solve problems for your children, like at all. I mean, most of the time, I don't know how to solve problems for myself. I don't know how to solve problems for my clients, my children, but I'm resourceful. And I'm like, let's figure this out together. Okay, let's try this. Okay, did that work? No. Okay, let's try this. Okay, cool, that worked. All right, so let's do more of that. And that's the whole point, is you're co-creating with your children. You're just their spiritual guide. You're their like role model in this life. So when you're sitting with your child and you're saying, let's find a solution together, your feelings matter, that's belonging. And that's the core of what every child wants, is a sense of belonging. So I hope this episode was supportive for you. Head on over to Instagram at Heather Chauvin, Chauvin, and send me a DM. Which one was your biggest takeaway? Which of the 5 things that emotionally intelligent parents say was one that is one that you are going to use? And how do your kids react? Maybe if it's a new way of communicating to them. That's it. Have a beautiful day.